Good luck using a dictionary to find the difference between these two words, because both of them will show up in English as under or below or a variation of that. However, these words actually have slightly different nuances and meanings to them, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you read the Korean definition of these words, it might actually be a bit more helpful. Meet in Korean is defined as being located underneath a certain object, and are is simply defined as being located below or lower than a certain level. So while both of these words mean to be below something, their definitions do vary slightly. So that affects how they're actually used. So then you might be looking at this and thinking, oh, well, that's easy. Then anytime I want to say below a bridge or below a table, I'll use this. And anytime I want to say lower than something, I'll use this. However, that's not actually how these words are used in regular Korean, and they have a bit more flexibility to them. Most of the time, you can use either meet or are and be correct in pretty much every situation. For example, you can use both meet and are to say that something is below a chair or any sort of object or a bridge. Both of these words can have this same usage. For example, you could say either 의자 밑 or 의자 아래 to mean below the chair, and you'd be perfectly correct with either one. In addition, you can also use both of these words to mean that someone or something is below something's influence. For example, you studied under a certain teacher. So you could say, it's kind of going off the screen, 배웠다. You can say 사람 밑 or 사람 아래에서 배웠어요 or 배웠다. Either one would work fine for that too. However, if you wanted to say below as in a document, in a website, like look below for more information, in that case you would have to use only 아래. So you could say something like 아래의 문장을 읽고 질문에 대답하시오. Read the sentence below and answer the question with 아래, but you couldn't say this with meet. And although I said you can use both of these words to mean below something, there's going to be a slightly different nuance to choosing one or the other. So let me show you what that is. 밑, 아래, 밑, 아래. So I said that the definition of meet as actually being below an object. Well, when you use this, it can also have the added meaning of talking about the base or even the foundation of something. So if you use meet, it can also have the feeling of talking about something being on the ground below something else. 아래, on the other hand, which means below a certain level, can often mean below relative to something else. So if you were to say something is 아래, people will consider what it is that you're saying it is relative to lower than that. So if you were to say 계단 밑에 창고가 있어요, there's storage under the stairs, what you're actually saying sounds more like you're saying at the base or at the bottom of the stairs on the floor, there is some sort of storage area. Whereas if you were to say 계단 아래에 창고가 있어요, what you're really saying is relative to the stairs, below there, there's some sort of storage. So are you talking about physically under the stairs, or are you talking about even below ground level? It could be a bit confusing, in which case saying 계단 밑에 would be far more preferred. If you were to say 다리 밑에 있어요, it's below the bridge, what you're talking about is below the bridge on the ground, right below the bridge. Whereas if you were to say 다리 아래에 있어요, you're simply saying relative to the bridge, you're lower, in which case both 밑 and 아래 would be perfectly acceptable. However, let's take this sentence. 산 밑에 or 산 아래에 돌이 있어요. There's a stone below the mountain. If we were to say 산 밑에, what we mean is at the base of the mountain, there is a stone. Whereas if we were to say 산 아래에 돌이 있어요, we're saying that actually below the level of the mountain, so perhaps underground, there is a stone. Maybe there's a famous stone that's at the base of the mountain, or maybe that famous stone is hidden below the mountain. Depending on which one you'd want people to think that you're trying to say, choose to use 밑 or 아래. So this difference in meaning can sometimes mean that one or the other of these words will sound more natural than the other, as you can see from these examples. So the takeaway from this lesson is use either one if you want to say below something, but just be aware of the slight difference in nuance. You don't have to worry necessarily about being wrong, just that a Korean might interpret your sentence slightly differently if you use one or the other. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments box. Also, thank you to my YouTube supporters and my Patreon supporters. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.